Greetings, I'm Jonathan Spirit. I've got to do a lot of farming, and welcome to Modern Skyblock 3 Supershorts. Remember how I said I was going to do Botania today? That was before the last update, when a new chapter, Basic Farming, intervened before Botania. Let's unlock that chapter by submitting Prismarine. If you're in your crafting grid and have an item in your inventory that can be compressed, you can press K to compress it automatically. 16 Prismarine crystals. Boron ingots are more efficient than boron ore. Boron alchemical ore dust is made with soul sand and glowstone. 1 crucible inserter, so that I can insert reliably into crucibles without leaving my crystal shards to die of inactivity. Oh, and by the way, at last, 32 boron ingots. To graduate into Botania, we need 256 tall mystical black flowers. Without the ability to craft floral fertilizer, I'll need to breed mystical black seeds myself. To start, we're going to need a lot of crop sticks, and a seed analyzer, and an agricultural journal. I'll place my seed analyzer here with an agricultural journal. I can press this button to open up the journal. Clippers, watering can, which we can fill up by right-clicking on a water source. Right-click crop sticks with a seed to plant them. Place 2 crop sticks in the same block to make a breeding stick. Crops will only mutate into other seeds if they are fully grown. You can water them to speed up the breeding process. Sugarcane seeds can only grow on top of sand. Luckily, crop sticks work on them. Boom, sugarcane seeds. You don't need an infinite water source to fill up your watering can. Sugarcane and pumpkin makes melon. Seeds and melon seeds make mystical white seeds. When right-click, they drop petals. White and seeds make yellow. With a trowel, I can right-click a plant to move it. Technically, it's supposed to transplant the plant fully grown, but we'll let it slide. White and yellow make brown. Brown and sugarcane make gray. Gray and melon make cyan. Somehow, cyan and white make blue. Blue and brown make red, which with blue makes purple, and with yellow makes orange. Orange and purple make magenta, and magenta and blue make black. Until we can make luminizers, we're going to need a way to get up to our Botania platform. With 7 powered rails, I can take my minecart holding me all the way up to the top of that hill. Let's enjoy this ride. It really is quite fun. For convenience, I switched from levers to buttons. This created the mild problem that when my minecart came back down, it stopped on the unpowered powered rails and I had to move myself all the way to the front of the line in order to go again. This detector rail, however, will send a redstone signal to this block which will activate these powered rails. When my minecart is coming down, it activates them just long enough to push my minecart back to the front of the line. The magical shears of winter have no durability. In order to duplicate petals, you can plant them on grass, bone meal them, and shear them to get the tall mystical black flowers required for the quest. You can place them in your crafting grid to get more petals to bone meal. The only consolation I get after all that work is that the quest didn't consume my black flowers, so now I have 16 stacks of black petals, which is technically more than this frame drawer can hold. Anyway, this is my floating island. It has a nice little river flowing down, and it's one of 6 islands that will eventually surround this floating city. I'm hoping beyond hope that it's wide enough for my Botania stuff. But in the worst case scenario, I'll make some raised platforms with scaffolds above it. Also, I have a very big and important question to ask you viewers about upcoming Botania. There's some really amazing stuff in Botania that I want to show off, like the Corporean networks and the Luminizers. Unfortunately, they all require something called Ender Air, which you can only get in the end. And you can't get to the end until the Advanced Resources chapter, by which point all of these amazing things will be completely obsolete. So my request is that you, the viewers, allow me to use Ender Air bottles to create these technologies earlier on. If not, I understand, but I think we'll both be missing out. Anyway, let's start a Botania journey with a flower pouch. It conveniently stores all 16 types of flowers. How, you ask, will I get these flowers? With a pestle and mortar, so I can turn petals into floral powder, which acts like dye. As it turns out, you cannot make floral fertilizer with a normal recipe. This is a problem for me because I wanted to use mystical flowers to light up my base. However, floral fertilizer is not the only way to get mystical flowers. I can use the Jaded Amaranthus instead. According to the Lexic Botania, the book for Botania, the Jaded Amaranthus will create mystical flowers from mana pools. So, step 1 is to, well, get mana. I took the time to breed the last of the flowers, so I should have no problem starting my work. I'll start with the Petal Apothecary, which you can fill with water with a bucket. Let's make some pure daisies. To craft with the Petal Apothecary, drop the ingredients, and drop a seed to complete the recipe. If you refill the Petal Apothecary within the next 10 seconds, you can right-click with an empty hand to add back the last recipe. The pure daisy converts wood and stone directly around it into living rock and living wood. Endoflames generate mana from furnace fuel. Living wood turns into living wood planks, which will make it to 8 open crates. 8 open crates atop 8 hopper hawks, with 8 hopping bonsai pots on top of those. Open crates, when they receive an item, simply drop it into the world. If I place saplings in these bonsai pots, they will grow and produce burnable fuels, among other things. Mana spreaders take mana and move it in another direction, as an entity. Allow me to explain by placing this mana spreader right here. With a floral obedience stick, I can shift right click on this mana spreader to bind all nearby flowers to it. Then the endoflames will start generating mana. A mana pool stores mana. A wand of the forest can be made with any petals and changes its texture to reflect such. Shift right click to switch it from bind mode to function mode. In binding mode, shift click on a block, and then shift click on its target to bind the block. We can right click on our mana pool to see how much mana is inside it. There are no numerical representations of mana in Botania. To get the Jaded Amaranthus, I need a Rune of Spring. To get the Rune of Spring, we need a runic altar. As I work on getting more diamonds, I have run completely out of space in this large chest. To deal with this, let's make a wood to iron chest upgrade, and an iron to gold chest upgrade. Then we can right click on our chest to make it bigger, and right click again to make it even bigger. A diamond in a mana pool makes a mana diamond, which makes a runic altar. Iron in a mana pool makes a mana steel. Most powders, like gunpowder, redstone, and any floral powder in a mana pool can make mana powder. To start a craft in the runic altar, throw all the requisite items on the runic altar. When the craft is complete, throw living rock on the runic altar, and right click with a wand of the forest. Rune of water. Runes used in a runic altar recipe will not be used up. 1 redstone root, 1 jaded amaranthus. Unfortunately, this rune of spring will be used up. Hold control over a Botania item to open it up in the Lexicon Botania. Place a Jaded Amaranthus near a mana pool, and it will start making flowers wherever it can. You can toggle its effect with a redstone signal. I can make mana pearls with ender pearls. Combine flowers with glowstone to make glimmering flowers. They have the same light level as glowstone and make quite the pretty sight. Anyway, that's it for today's episode. Next episode, I'll use the munch dew and endoflames to make a more complex method of mana generation. In case you forgot, I'd like to make a request from you viewers, that I use Botania technology that requires ender air before I get to the end in several dozen episodes, at which point those awesome technologies will be obsolete. As always, if you have any feedback, I'd love to hear it. I hope you enjoyed!